And your first one has given you 4 pearls. You have got a Candy Floss pink, a watermelon, a sea green, and a dark forest green. Candy Floss pink, watermelon, sea green, and forest green. Moving on to your next egg pop. Charlotte, I replied back to an email today, my lovely. In your second egg pop, you have got 2 pearls. You've got a darker burgundy red, almost going into a black cherry, but I am going to say is more burgundy red. And then a 2-tonal gunmetal grey. So in some, you've got sort of the lighter and the darker silvery tones around there. Yes, Ebony. Moving on to your next egg pop. And you've got 4 pearls in that one. We've got a brighter pink, thank you, Bab, a sea green, another burgundy red, slightly brighter than your first one, and a pastel yellow. Your next egg pop. What we might have to do, Tracy, is we might have to take all these pearls out before we open up the oysters, just to make room for the oyster pearls. You've got a coral and another burgundy red. And then your last egg pop. And you've got 4 pearls in that one. So another sea green, a brighter pink, a sunshine yellow, and a chocolate. Okay, now what I'm going to say is, shall we take a screenshot of these, Tracy? Because I'm going to measure these and then take them out of the sand for you, just to make room for the pearls from the oysters. And then you can either email me your colour choices across for the jewellery, or if you would like to, obviously let me know now. I can add them in again at the end if you would like to. So pink, Candy Floss, sea green and forest green, burgundy red, 2-tonal gunmetal grey, pink, sea green, burgundy red and pastel yellow, burgundy red, coral, sea green, brighter pink, sunshine yellow and a chocolate. Greens on the earrings and necklace set. Oh, that's beautiful. Okie dokie. Hang on, let me just double check that. You know what? They are very, very similar anyway. I'd probably say those 2 for the earrings. And that one for the pendant. So I'm just writing this down as we go. And you'd like reds that match on the dot earrings. Let me have a look at these. You know what? These 2 here. Those 2 are very, very similar. Actually, I'm going to say those 2. So would you be happy with those 2 there on the yes, on the dot earrings? Brilliant. No, I do not have sea blue, I'm afraid, my lovely. So red. Okay, so that means that's all the colours that we actually needed to know. So then it's the rest of it is just with the cages, my lovely. So it will just be whether you're happy with these shades. So before I take these ones out then, are you happy with all of these colours, or would you like to swap any of them? Sorry, I'll hold it up again in a second. I'm just moving the egg pops out the way, or the shells from the pops. So these are the pearls that are left over. Are you happy with those, or would you like to swap any of them? And would you like me to measure them? I apologise, I haven't measured them. The red is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5, not a 7, he's a 7.5. Forest green's not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5, not a 7, he's a 7.5. And the watermelon's not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5, not a 7, he's a 7.5 as well. Candy Floss Pink is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5, not a 7, not a 7.5, he's an 8. Two-tonal Gunmetal Grey is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5, not a 7, not a 7.5, he's an 8. Slightly Brighter Pink is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5, not a 7, he's a 7.5. And the Pastel Yellow is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5, not a 7, not a 7.5, he's an 8. The brighter of the three pinks is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5, not a 7, not a 7.5, not an 8, he's an 8.5. Sunshine Yellow is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5, not a 7, he's a 7.5. Coral is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5, he's a 7. And the Chocolate is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5, not a 7, he's a 7.5. So I have popped these a little bit closer together now, just so then we can see all of the colours in sort of a closer view. And can we swap a pink for a coppery brown? Yes, of course. Do you have a preference with the lighter, the middle, or the brighter pink, or don't you mind? And also, what do you think to the other colours? So a coppery brown, that one shouts out at me straight away. And let me show you that one. So I added in this one here. Perfect copper. Okay, so you'd like to swap one out, and the other two pinks you'd like to donate forward. Bless you, Tracy. That's extremely kind of you. Extremely kind of you, my lovely. So with the rest of these then, are you happy with those colours before we move on to your oysters? Again, if not, we can swap them. It's completely up to you. The Gunmetal Grey is yes. But you're happy with those, Tracy? Perfect. So I'm just going to take these out of the sun just to make some room. Okay, so moving on to your oysters. Would you just be able to say again if you'd like to keep or if you'd like to donate your shells? So oyster number 1. We've got a lighter pop there. And there's your mother of pearl. So you can see that there's no pearls on that side. Donate the shells, bless you. So first pearl straight at the top, and we've got a bridal white. So let me have a squidge in here. And there's no more in that one. So your first oyster has given you a bridal white. Now, Tracy, are there any other colours that you're hoping for to come out now? So you've got quite a nice selection already. So are there any other ones that we'd like to see? Your next mystery oyster. Not at the moment, Joan, no. So softer pop there. And in here, there's your mother of pearl. So again, we can see that there's no pearls on that side. And you've got a darker runaway. There's no more in that one. And he is a black cherry. Very dark, deep black cherry. Your next oyster. And we've got a louder pop with that one. And in here, there's your mother of pearl. And straight away, Tracy, I can see that you have got 1, 2, and 3. You have triples. Excuse me. You have got 3 pearls in that oyster, my lovely. You have got, if I go through the colours for you, a darker gunmetal grey. We've got a lighter watermelon, and you've got a honey gold. So gunmetal grey, watermelon, and a honey gold. Your last 2 oysters. So moving on to your next one, Tracy. Soft pop there. And in here, there's your mother of pearl. We can see that there's no pearls on that side. And if we have a squidge in here, you've got 1, 2, and 3. You have triples for a second time, my lovely, with complete different colours here. You've got a autumn peach, slightly two-tonal with lighter and brighter areas. You've got a chocolate, that's just this little imperfection on the chocolate there. And you've got a TARDIS blue. Autumn peach, chocolate, and TARDIS blue. And then moving on to your last oyster. Slight double pop there. And there's your mother of pearl. In here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You are quadding with your last oyster. Tracy, you've got some gorgeous pearls here. Again, I'm just going to dry these up for you, and then we'll pop them all in the sand so you can have a closer look. So same again, if you're happy with these colours, they are yours. If you're not happy, we can swap them for colours of your choice. You've got a two-tonal chocolate silver and olive green. So 3-tonal chocolate silver and olive green. A bright hot pink. A darker TARDIS blue. And a 2-tonal autumn peach. Let me just see if I can... I'm just going to see if we can make it so we can see all the pearls in one go. There we go. What do you think to all of these? So from the top, you've got the 3-tonal chocolate silver and olive green, bright hot pink, TARDIS blue, and a 2-tonal autumn peach, bridal white and a black cherry, gunmetal grey, watermelon, and a honey gold, autumn peach, chocolate, and a TARDIS blue. If you're happy with these, they are yours. And of course, if you're not happy, we can swap them for colours of your choice. 2-tonal autumn peach is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5, not a 7, not a 7.5, he's an 8. TARDIS blue is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5, not a 7, not a 7.5, he's an 8. And the hot pink is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5, not a 7, not a 7.5, he's an 8. The 3-tonal chocolate silver olive is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5, not a 7, not a 7.5, not an 8. He's an 8.5. The bridal white is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6. He's a 6.5. And the black cherry is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6. not a 6.5, he is a 7. The gunmetal grey is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5, not a 7, not a 7.5, he's an 8. Watermelon is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5, not a 7, he's a 7.5. And the honey gold is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5, not a 7, not a 7.5, he's an 8. Last but not least, the watermelon is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5, not a 7, he's not a 7.5, he's an 8. I said watermelon, I meant peach. Your chocolate is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5, not a 7, not a 7.5, he's an 8. And the TARDIS blue is not a 5, not a 5.5, not a 6, not a 6.5, not a 7, he is a 7.5. Okay, what do we think to these, my lovely? What would you like to do? Can be invoiced for hoop fittings on the honey and the top blue. Yes, of course you can. So the honey and the top blue. I'll write that down for you. So you'd like to be invoiced for hoop with honey, blue and the black cherry. Okay, and the black cherry. And then these are your other pearls. What do we think to those?